Hey guys, oops, let me turn my lights back on. Woo, bright, 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 bright. This is what we're going to make today. It's a framed piece that opens up into 3 framed pieces. So you can set it on your counter like this. And I'm going to show you from start to finish how I did it. This is the back. And then there's tags inside that you can glue your photos to. And I show you how to make those as well, with little tips and tricks on the way, how things, to make things work nicer for you and maybe a little easier than, yeah. Okay, so this is what we're going to make. So stay tuned if you want to learn how to make this, and hour and a half of your time, and bam, it's done. Quick gift, good for all kinds of things. This is for my son, so it's kind of on the manly side. No embellishments, but you totally could put flowers and all kinds of things around the borders. You could put eyelets on the tags and actually have little fluffy things coming out the top. You can make this, you can make the sections in between these bigger so that you can actually embellish the 2 other ones as well. So lots of opportunities for it to be created in your own image and do things that you like for, you know, to decorate and things. Okay, so let's move on. Now what you're going to need to do this project, and I'm showing you the pieces that I already have used. So you're going to need lightweight chipboard, cereal box would be perfect. This is just the back of a 12 by 12 page. 8.5 by 11 I think would work for you. Might need 2 of them, but the 12 by 12 one or a large cereal box totally work for you just perfectly. You're going to need 4 12 by 12 pages, or you only need 1 12 by 12 page if you have 5 by 7 envelopes. You can totally do this with 5 by 7 envelopes as long as you can open them up. Which, if you're careful and if you have like a spatula kind of or a thin ruler where you can get in and open those, nobody's going to see them. So even if they get ripped a little bit, so 5 by 7 envelopes will definitely work. You'd need 3 of those. Or you're going to need to make your own 5 by 7 envelopes, which is what I did. I just used the We Are Memories Keeper envelope maker. I don't go over how I made those. I just did the 5 by 7 size, and that gave me the nice envelopes. Okay. I grabbed a 6 by 6 pad that I've been trying to get used up. I now only have 2 sheets left. And I used 12 to 13 sheets. It all depends on which patterns you want to use and have repeat and that kind of thing. So, but a 6 by 6 pad will totally take care of everything on the decorations. And then of course you're going to need a scoreboard, score tool, bone folder. Yeah, the Timmy ruler is great. It works really well because you've got the horizontal lines as well as the vertical lines. So, and I use the horizontal lines. You need an eraser, a pencil, scissors, some glue. You need 2 8.5 by 11 clear plastic sheets. You'll have most of one of them to use for something else, but I could only get 2. Now I cut my frames the size I cut my frames. If you cut yours smaller, then you won't need as much of the plastic. But this will hold the plastic to paper. Not all glues will do that. I did not ink my edges, but if you want to ink your edges, you'll need whatever ink, and I did round the corners of my tags. So I have a corner chomper, but you know, anything you can use. You can even round them all by yourself, or you can leave them square. And really, that's about it, guys. let's use up some stuff from your stash. So grab stuff and let's get going. Join me for this. It's a lot of fun, quick, and easy, and a great gift for any occasion. Okay, here we go.
Hey guys. Oh, it's late and my husband's sleeping, so I'm going to try and be quiet. I think I'm moving my microphone up a little bit. Might help. I am going to make a quick and I hope easy little Valentine's gift where you can, it's going to be a picture photo frame. And I have my envelope punch board, the We Are Memories Keepers, and I made a envelope for a 5x7 card. So if you have envelopes for a 5x7 card, if you can get one of those in the colors that you want, great. I did not have the colors I wanted. I have this old basic gray Hey You 6x6, and I thought I'm making this for my son, and I just thought, well, these are nice papers for a guy. They're not too girly or frilly or anything, and I thought they all looked good with this paper. So that is why I went ahead and made mine. Not that I don't have a boatload of envelopes, but I didn't have colors I wanted. So anyway, so that's gonna almost finish this 6x6. Don't you love it when you finish a pad? So what I have done is I've got one here so I can show you. I measure down first 1 inch from the top, kind of in the center. Just kind of eyeball it, put yourself a little mark. Let me get you a little closer here. I'm sorry I didn't. I think that'll be good. Just have to make sure I keep you in frame because I do have you. So 1 inch down, and then you're going to find your center. And I believe that this is about 2.25-ish. There's 2.5. There's 2.5. Yeah, it's right about 2.5 on either side. So there's center. Then down each side, you're going to measure down 2.5 inches. So just put a little tick mark at 2.5 on that side, and find 2.5 here. Make a little tick mark on this side at 2.5, and then you're just going to basically kind of play connect the dots and make a line going from your 2.5 inch tick marks here and have it intersect in your center point that you put here at the 1 inch mark. Okay, so that makes you a little house looking thing. It'll give you this. Now you still have your 3 of the flaps. The one does get cut off, which is fine. Okay, so then what I did is I just used this as a template because I want these to be all the same. So I'm just going to make sure that this is working for me as well, because again, I want them all the same. And I am just a titch different here, so I'm just going to make my line. Okay, so I have 3 cards. You're also going to need some lightweight chipboard. This is the back of a Stampin' Up paper pack, but any like back of a pack, anything that's lightweight. You don't need the medium weight for this. And then we're just going to cut them out. You can use your cutter, your scissors, however you want to go about cutting these out. And you want to make sure you're getting through all, oh, and I didn't there. Make sure you're getting through all of the thicknesses. So it is a little tough cutting through all the thicknesses in certain parts, but then it gets easier. So just stick with it, girls and guys, and we'll get this done. Okay, so there's 2, and then the third one here. Come on. There we go. Okay, oops, I'm missing that. Just gotta keep all those closed up. Keep all of the flaps closed up. And there we go. So now, there we go. Get these. These can get tossed. So now we have 3 envelopes. Now you're going to need, this was one of the pieces that I had left, and basically it's 4 3/4. So it's almost exactly in half. One of the pieces I had left from cutting my envelope. And so 4 3/4 tall. I don't know about the width yet. We are going along as I'm thinking through this. So I believe now I want to take and get myself a piece of chipboard for each one of these, and I'm going to cut inside the line just a little bit. Because I want this to fit inside the envelope. And the top you can cut pretty much right on the line, but don't go over the line because you don't want it sticking out the top. And I'm probably going to just take a smidge, since I didn't have to cut this side, I'm just going to take a smidge off with my cutter. Okay, so let's see, does this fit down inside here nicely? Still just a, no, let's see. No, it still needs to be cut down just a little bit. So just kind of play with it until you get it where it fits in really well for you. Okay. All right. And then if any of it sticks out the top, just take your scissors and cut that down. All right, so there's one. And we're going to do it 2 more times, and I'm just going to go right along with you here. All right, pencil, cut, I mean not cut, mark. All right, and that probably isn't great for my scissors to be cutting this lightweight chipboard, but you know, it's all right. My husband will sharpen them for me. He is such a good guy. We have had rain for I mean, days and days. We're all getting a little cabin fever. We want to be outside. But that is okay. Let's see now. A little bit off. And you want to make sure you kind of take a little bit off each side. And that's one reason that you're not having it fit perfectly on the top, is because you're kind of cutting the sides maybe not quite as even. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. Perfect. And then just trim off the excess. Make sure though that you don't cut your envelope, because you don't want to make them different from each other. So just be careful, take your time. Okay, so there's the second one. Lay this here. Clean up a little. Oops, oh well, that was good. There we go, and one more. So one piece will do just fine for you. Okay. So I'll get this one cut out. Sorry if I haven't been I've been thinking about what I'm gonna do next. I know in my mind what I want, but I just have to focus on what I'm doing at the moment, I guess, and think about it after I'm done. Not always easy to do. Okay, so that's done, and I'm sure I'm going to have to cut. Yes. Okay, so let's cut a little bit off this side and a little off this side. And it's better to cut a little bit and cut more than it is to overcut and have to start the process all over again. Still a little bit more. I think I'll cut a little bit more off this side. Just try and keep it as even as you can. Okay. So you're also going to need some, no, that is still just a little too tight. You're also going to need some clear plastic. So we're going to make photo frames in this. And I'm going to take just about that much off both sides. I think that will do us. There we go. So this will be something that'll stand on your table. You can, of course, make it for any occasion. Okay, and then we're going to cut the excess off. You can make it for any occasion, but this is for Valentine's Day for my son. He's got some photos. I've noticed that he just has taped on his wall in the room in his we've got a travel trailer and he is staying in that because I haven't had a chance to get my guest bedroom fixed up yet. So okay, So now we have 3 exactly the same, which is what we want. And then we have our 4 3/4 high, which is the height of the sides. These remaining sides is 4 3/4. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is glue this piece down onto the paper. Get my glue out. Right. And you're also going to want to make sure that you're not getting into your fold lines. So just get that all folded up. And if anything sticks out afterwards, just give it a little cut down, because I flipped this one because of the writing. I didn't want the writing on there. So I'm just going to there we go. So we still are not gluing our backs down, but we're getting our lightweight chipboard glued down. Oops. And if you have any pencil marks, you can make sure you get those off. And again, if anything's sticking out, this is just a tiny little sliver, but just to keep it nice and neat and uniform, just make sure you're not cutting your envelope. Okay, so there's that one. Okay. So I'm actually uploading a video for tomorrow, and my computer made a noise. I had to check it. Let's see what it was. Okay, I've got a pencil mark. And I don't know why, but this one side has had just a few little anomalies. Just some anomalies. Okay. So now I have all 3 of them with the chipboard pieces in them. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I would like for the opening to be as large as possible, but I'm not going to make it up into this area. I'm going to kind of keep it just below. And this is, again, from this point here. Let's see. This side here is 4 3/4. So I can make a 4-inch so I'm going to come up, let's see, from the score line at the bottom. I'm going to come up 3/8 of an inch. and make a mark. And just do it light so that you can erase it. So we've got 3/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to draw myself a little line so I can get a visual here. Okay. And then I want to make it from there 1, 2, 3, 4 inches high. And let's get one more mark a little further over, 4 inches high. Okay. And there we go. And again, another little line. All right. And I think if I stay in 3/8 of an inch from the inside. Okay, I'm going to flip these. So from each edge, the bottom and the two sides, we're going to stay in 3/8 of an inch. And then put it on my, I have got to get a new Timmy ruler. Got to get a new Timmy ruler because I am just about the lines are just about gone. I understand the new ones are etched or something. I don't know. This is when he very first came out with this. I got one. So I've had this for years, but I think it's about time for a new one. Okay, so there's my square. And this is going to be really nice for a 4x6 picture. You'll lose part of it, but because this will be 4 1/4, and this is 4. So it'll be very nice for a 4x6 photo. Okay. I'm just erasing what I don't need on there. And so we're going to do that to these other two as well. So let's just quickly 3/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, and this one 3/8, 3/8, and 3/8. Okay, and then up 4 inches from this bottom 3/8 line and make a little line. Four inches and 4 inches. Okay, and then let's make our frame. Oops. I keep moving the darn thing. Can't move it. Won't be straight. Okay. Connect the dots. Erase the lines you don't need. Last one. So I hope everybody has got some wonderful plans for Valentine's Day, that you're going to be able to spend it with friends or family, have a glass of wine or sparkling wine if you're not an alcohol drinker. I'm not, but it's more because I'm allergic to it than anything else, but it doesn't bother me to not drink either. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to get our craft knife and we're going to cut these frames out. And remember, we're cutting out the frame on through this thick through the chipboard. Even though it's thin chipboard, it's still going to take a few trials to get going here. So just lightly go down till you feel like you've gotten through. There we go. Oh. And if you go a little past the line, it's okay because it will get covered up with paper. But just try not to do it. Get that a little closer. There we go. Oh, well, that was not very good at all. I totally screwed that one, but that's okay because it will get fixed. It will get fixed. Yeah. Okay, just try and be a little more careful, Lisa. And then one more here. And I'm probably going to pause and cut the other two out and then come back to you so that you don't have to sit and watch me cut all of these, because that would just be silly. And then I probably will have to do a little bit of corner detail here. A little bit of corner detail. Why aren't you coming off there? There we go. There's one. Just take your time. And, oops. Let me glue this back down. It's, like I said, it's going to get covered, but this is where I screwed up and cut down into it a little bit deeper than I wanted to. Got off the line. Oh, come on. Really? If I wasn't filming, it would not do this. But because I'm filming, it will. It never fails. Okay, so just going to pop that right back down there. And I'll cut off this little section here because it's just going to be fine. All right, and there's that and that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other two. So that is your frame. You can make your frame any size you want to. But that's just the frame size that I'm going to use because of the size pictures my son has. All right, so I'll be right back. Hey, all right. So I went ahead and did some more work, but I've got one whole complete one that I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to put all this to the side. All right. There we go. Now, so we were at this point where we had these cut like this. Move all my little pieces and parts so you're not going to get no confusion. I'm going to move my camera just a little bit. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, so now the next thing you're going to need to do is get a sheet of plastic. And this may be difficult for you to see, but I'm just putting the plastic so that it covers around the frame. And I'm going to take, let's see, where is, oh, of course, I'm always looking for something. Here's my little pigment brush pen. It makes a great mark on here, so I'm just going to mark where I want to cut that. And of course I'm going to show you what we're going to do so that it doesn't, that the pictures don't get hooked on it. And always keep these little pieces of plastic. I've got little pieces all over the place because you never know when you want a little window or a little something something. And this stuff is not cheap. Okay, so I've got that, and my the art glitter glue does do plastic. Some of the glues, like the Scotch Quick Dry, I've not ever had good luck doing plastic. All I'm going to do is put a bead of glue around the frame, not right on the edge, because you don't want it squishing onto the part of the plastic that you're going to be able to see. So stay about 1/8 of an inch away, but still within, obviously within the size of your plastic. And at first I don't smush it down much at all. I just kind of give it a little bit of a wiggle because I don't want that glue to seep in. So just kind of lightly tapping it down at first. I'm going to let that set just for a minute. So we have, I've got this piece for the frame. I don't know, there's a stain on this, and I don't know, I didn't have any more of these in my little 12 by 12 pack, so I don't know if this stain was meant or if I did it or... So I'm actually going to try and not use that part. So I'm just going to, I cut, there's an edge on this that doesn't have the pattern. I just cut it off so that I could just have the pattern and not that edge. And this is going to get most of this stain piece because I'm not going for a grunge look anyway. So let me cut this. And I'll use the strips on my tags. That's what all those little strips are for. Okay, so there's that. And then I want it to go right to, I want this matting to go right to the edge of this top piece here. Okay, so right along here, and then we're going to put a cap on the top like it's a roof. I thought that was really cute. So I'm just going to make a little tick mark right there at the edge of where this flap folds so that that will all get covered. So we're going to, this project will probably take you, if you sat down and just ran straight through it, it'd probably take you about an hour and a half. But I think it's just going to be really stinking cute. All right. And super, super easy. Let me erase my pencil marks. Come here. Where's my eraser? Oh, for heaven's sakes. I'm supposed to be all this big organizational freak, and I put, you know, I'm working on my 12-month box and file folder thing, and I just kind of stuck all that to the side, so I'm kind of messy right at the moment. But I just wanted to get this done for my son for Valentine's Day, since he's here visiting. And we don't really do a whole lot of candy or anything like that. So I put glue around the edge, and then I'm going to put glue around this edge. Again, don't get too close because you don't want it squishing out, but you do want, so I'm staying like a 1/16 of an inch away to an eighth of an inch away from the edge there. All right, and we're just going to place this down. You just want to stay away from the score line. You don't want it on the score line. And then get it even left and right, which I don't have. Come on. There we go. And then you're just going to burnish that, and then it should be all right on the other side as well to get that all burnished down. Oh, I did do this wrong. Okay, guys, I am so sorry. We don't put the plastic on yet. Blah! Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, so skip the first part that I did. This gets glued on. Oh, for heaven's sakes, what happened here? I got a little tear in my paper, but I don't know what I did to get that little tear in the paper, so I'm picking it up and putting a little glue underneath it. Good as new! I don't know how that happened, though. That is weird. Huh, weird. Okay, so now I'm going to take my cutter, and I'm going to go from the corner into the center, just like that. And you don't have to go all the way in, just so that you're getting a nice cut from the corner in. And I'm going to use Timmy again. And I am going to go 1/4 of an inch in. So just line that up on that first line that's going, what is that? Horizontally, vertically, and just cut your little triangles out. And of course it's got glue, so everything's sticking to everything. Oh, I have to get another ruler. I have to get another Timmy. Okay, and we're just going to cut across here. So we're leaving 1/4 of an inch to fold over to make our frame pretty. There we go. And this is just such a good idea, a nice gift for anything. You know, you guys are going to a baby shower or a wedding, anything like that. It would just be wonderful. Have it all decorated up, and they can put their very special favorite picture in there. And of course they'll be able to, now this you can save, or because I've been using the end on the tags, so just put that aside for right now. So now we're just going to start our paper folding. Just give it a little, start those fibers moving around. We don't want it to split.
Not that it's going around anything huge. And then I'm just for time's sake, I'm just putting glue down all the way around, since I'm using glue instead of like tape, which is going to grab immediately. By the time I get around to the first part of the glue, it's going to be tacky, so it will stay just a little bit better for me. And just pull it down over that edge and work it. Work it, girls. Work it. And guys, give it a little burnish. Okay, now that was a little drier than I was hoping for. Let me get this one down. Okay, so burnish again everything really, really, really well. Don't want glue on our, and there's our nice frame. Of course, it goes this way. Okay, now we are going to take our plastic and do what I did for the first step. I'm going to stay away from the edge about 1/8 of an inch. And this also will help keep the frame papers down. And then again, I told you I would show you how we're going to do to keep from getting all of these layers. Let's see which, yeah, getting all these layers hooked up in, you know, when you're trying to put your tag in. So, show you that in just a second. You get anything on the actual, which of course my finger had some glue on it. And just kind of give it a little tack. I've got to put a little bit of glue underneath my frame again over here. It's didn't stick in that one spot. Okay, now I'm just doing a light burnish just to kind of spread that glue a little bit. But if it starts going towards my frame, I stop. Okay, so now we have that done. Let me go ahead. We're going to close it up like this. And I'm going to take my back paper and I'm going to cut that out. So you figure out what kind of edge you want shown here. And cut accordingly. Everybody's might be a little different because especially if you're making your holes different, you know, that's why I'm not really giving you measurements for all of that. So now we have this that should fit in here nicely. Close it up, make sure it's centered, and it is. And now I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to hold this down nice and flat, and I'm going to take my pencil and just give myself a nice light cut line. And if you notice, I put this evenly across, but not all the way down into the score line, so that I should have a nice mat for the back. So this is pretty easy and straightforward. Just give it a little cut here and there. I'll say, yeah, I am recording and I do have my microphone on. I just thought of that. I said, oh Lord. Come on. Yeah, don't pull it off. leaves a little icky thing right there. Okay, and then get this side cut. All right. And we're doing pretty well right here. It's drying nicely. So I'm going to close this up and make sure that I've got this working for me, and it's going to be just right. Okay, so I've got that cut. I've been putting this piece, using this on the tops of all of them for their roof. So they're all, the roof in the front are the same. And it just took one piece to get all three of these done. So I just wanted to make sure that it was going to fit. Put your glue down on your paper here. Want some good adhesion. We want some good adhesion. All right, place this down. So those of you that, I hope everybody had a great Valentine's Day. Today is Valentine's Day 2020. And so that's what I'm doing for my son. But this could go, oh my gosh, like I said, for anything. Just super easy. Super cute. So now I'm just going to, oh no. Stop. I'm going to give myself another 1/4 of an inch right here. You can either draw a line and use your scissors, or you can just use Timmy or whatever ruler that you have, because I just need about a 1/4 of an inch on both sides and to fold over, so it gives me a nice edge on the top of my roof. There we go, and you can save that when you're doing your tags. Okay, so the point, this point here, I am actually going to cut out just almost down to not even leaving, leave about a 1/16 of an inch on the one side, and you know, the other. Just let me find a piece of, yeah, here's a little piece of black. So I'm just cutting this little bit off. All right, just like that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I banged my microphone, so I hope that wasn't too loud. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this piece. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the roof where I'm going to be folding it over. I probably could have done a little bending first, but that's okay. Just bend that right around that lightweight chipboard we've got. Okay, so we're going to bend one over, get it folded down nicely into that glue, get a little burnish on it, make sure you've got it pulled over well, and then you're going to put just a little bit of glue on the very top tip for when this flips over, that's actually got something gluing that little edge down. So we have a nice little corner at the top there. Get it burnished in, get that glue adhering. All right. And you know, one thing you can do just to give yourself a nice edge, and you could have done that around here. This is such a thinner chipboard that it does just fine. Okay, so now we're going to take, let's see, did I want to do this one I don't think this one's going to work for me. Oh, my little dog. Bless his little heart. This is my back. So what do I want to use for back here? I had this on all of them. This should work. Okay, so the piece that I had left from one of the others, because this is going to be folded up, so this is all you're going to see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead because all of them are this, and this is the only piece I've got left. So I am going to use this. Let me just show you what I did here is I went from corner to corner and then I cut it out. But I want this to be the same on all of them in the back. So I think I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to put some glue on the bottom here and up the sides, not really knowing exactly how much it's going to use. And then I'm going to put this across here, and it sounds like the guys are home, and that ought to do me just fine. Now you want to get this paper that we're putting down on the roof line over both pieces, the paper and the plastic, so that that is what's going to keep your tag from hooking onto that plastic. And I think I will take just a little added piece that nobody's going to see and put it just across these little edges here because this isn't long enough. So let me just get a little piece and just go right across the edge. I think this one's not quite wide enough. Here we go. This is the same as the frame, so it won't be out of. And then we'll just cut off anything that hangs off. All right. Now I'm going to let all this dry and I'll be back in just a second. Okay. So now I'm just going to bring this. I actually like to kind of flip this up so I make sure I'm not cutting into it. And just give yourself, careful not to cut your frame, and just work a nice edge. There we go. That's the simplest way that I found to do that. And that finishes it off nicely. Okay, so now we have to do some construction because all of this is prepared. We've got our fronts and our backs done. Got my front and my back. This is my first one. And my front and my back. And this is my middle one. So this is how it's going to be. And this is what the back, what the backs are going to look like with these colors. All right. So colorful, but still manly. All right. So I have made one. I had a, where's my tags here? Okay. I had one piece earlier that I had 4 3/4, and I just cut it in half, so it ends up being 1 1/4 wide. And on the 1 1/4 side, you're going to score. Slide these over a little bit. You're going to score at 5/8, which is basically cutting, folding it in half. So right between the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 inch is 5/8. So we're going to score that puppy. All right. I'm also going to take a piece of my leftovers here. Do I want that one? I think so. I think I love this paper. I don't know why, but I love this paper. So this is 1 1/4. So I'm gonna cut this at about 1 1/8, somewhere in that vicinity. And there's another strip. Just put that back in leftovers so we can make our tag. So there's, and I'm making it even top and bottom and just kind of centering it on the side. So I'm just going to cut this off since it's even top and bottom. I'm not giving it an edge. And you can certainly ink your pages if you want. All your pieces, you can ink them. You can ink around your frame if you'd like. I have chosen not to do that because it's more aesthetically pleasing for me. But you can certainly do, add more to this. You can definitely make them very girly if you please, that kind of thing. So I'm going to let that dry before I fold it. So the first one, hold on just a sec for me. When it rains, it pours, don't you know? We've got my son staying out in our camper so that he has his own space and stuff, but, and I don't have my room ready, my guest room ready yet, and the water's frozen out there. So they're out working on that. Okay, so this first one, we are going to put this together. Take your middle one, so it's important that you know which one you want where, and we're going to attach them so that they are back. So they are back to back. And then these back mats will go over and they will fold together like this. All right? And that way you'll have back to back together. So that's what we're going to do right now. And the only reason I covered this is because you're going to see just a little edge, and I just thought it would be a little more interest than just the gray paper. All right, so we are going to, and I guess I can go ahead and tack these down. And again, I'm not putting a ton of glue, and I think it doesn't matter which one goes first, but this definitely needs to be on the outside so that you don't have problems. So now I'm going to put this right down and match it up to the edge. If anything sticks out, we will just trim it off. There we go. Burnish that. And I've got just a little bit to trim off. I matched it up with this top edge. Sorry, I matched it up with this top edge at my starting of my roof. And I have just a little bit, and it's not going to be an easy cut because that is quite thick. So I think I'll get my Timmy shears out here. There we go. Cuts like butter. All right, so there's that one. Now we can go ahead and put our backing on this first one, which is going to cover and hide all of our workings. Just like that. And you can definitely, oh my goodness, there's so much you can do on on these to make them nice. Now I'm first going to match up the top piece, because I want that to definitely be covering right up to the edge. I'm not leaving an edge on that at all. I want that all covered, and then just bring the rest of it down and burnish. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do, remember, back to back. So I'm going to put some glue on this puppy again, the other side here. This needs just a titch glue right there in the corner. Okay, and again, I forgot. Let's just put a little bit of glue right where these things are going to come together. And I'm not pulling them tight. I just want them to be nice and loose, so it's going to be easy to get the back piece together. Fold this over and match it up. So you got a nice little sandwich there. Nice little sandwich. Back to back. And you want to make sure that your roof lines are matching. All right. Let's get a little burnish on there. Okay, now this is my back for this one. I just want to make sure that I'm going to be covering everything that needs to get covered. Absolutely. Oh, wait a minute. Can't do this one yet. Woo! Somebody was yelling at me. Okay, where's the... Here it is. So I'm just going to refold this now. This is my other hinge that I made, and I put the paper on and was just letting it dry. Oh, this is so exciting, coming down to the end. Okay, so we have... These two are back to back, right? Okay, now these two are going to be front to front. So then when it opens up, it'll be like this. And you can set it on your table and things, but when it's closed, it'll all line up together. So these are front to front. So it's going to be a little more important here to have, let's see, you know what? I think I'm going to widen my score line just a little bit. I'm going to put this where I'm just going to do 2 score marks together. So I'm not making it 1/8 of an inch. I guess I'm making it like a 1/16 because I'm putting the score mark. Let me get this closer. I'm putting the score mark and I'm aligning it with one of these raised tick marks. So it's not lined up with a groove, it's lined up in between 2 grooves. So both top and bottom, I've got it sitting where there's no grooves, it's in the middle. And then I'm just going to make another groove mark. So this is basically like a 1/16 of an inch. And I think I'll flip it over and also do the same. Oh, see, this paper is so hard to see. So I'm going to try and fold on that fold line as well, just to give myself a little bit bigger area. And I think that's going to work just nicely for me. Let's get that little score mark in there. If you are working with bigger chipboard, you might want to go ahead and do a whole 1/8 of an inch. But since I'm not working with very thick chipboard, and I'm going to remember to go ahead and glue this down. So I'm just going to Put a little glue here. Put a little glue here. No, not there. Not on the top. No, don't want to glue our pocket down. And then glue here. I was looking at that going, wait a minute. I didn't do that on the other ones. What's wrong with this picture? Okay, so we just want to make sure that we're... No, and I put it too far over here too. There we go. Got this all nicely closed down, but not sealing our pocket. Don't want to seal our pocket. Burnish. Okay, now, so we're going front to front, but of course we're putting this in the back. So it's going to be like this and like this. So actually I want it this way. No. Wait a minute now, because that will show on the outside. I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong side. I'm going, what the heck is wrong with this picture? Okay, so it's going to go around like this. And when you open this up, it's just going to be the two frames together. All right? So there we go, just like that. That's how we're going to do it. All right, so I'm going to put it on this first one first. Well, guys, I hope that you're able to hear what I said last time, because I did not have my microphone on and I haven't checked that video yet. So if I need to go over any of this again, I certainly will. I'm very, very sorry. But now we're going to attach the back two together. So we're going to have, see, I think I want to turn this around. So let's fold it on that line. And then I want to fold it on the other line. So I have a nice... So now we're going to attach, wait a minute, yeah, this way. Okay, so I'm putting the good side down on the middle page here. So I'm going to glue down the good side. Oh, well, it works better if you take the pin out, doesn't it? The glue might come out a little better anyway. All right. I'm going to get it right up to the score line with the glue. And I'm going to match it up at the top, right along the edge. And don't go over the score line, because we're going to need that little bit of space that we're giving ourselves. A nice burnish. Make sure we're getting everything down. All right. And that's going to fold over that. So this is my front one. This is my middle one. And now we have this opened up with the paper face up. And we're going to glue, which I've already sealed this down. We're going to glue this one, staying away from the score line a little bit, and we're going to glue this one down. We do want to make sure that when we glue it down that we're also lining it up so all of the houses line up. So you might want to put the glue down and then bring it around while keeping the frames all matched up. All right, so got the frames all matched up. Remember to stay away from the score line. I got a little bit of glue, but it'll, let me take a little tip here and get that glue. I kind of got a little crazy with the glue. Let me make sure this is lined up. I'll put it this way, and I'm just going to bring this around and hold it down. Make sure I'm still in line. Let's get some burnishing going on this. If you use double-sided tape, it won't take nearly as long. I just making it for those of us that maybe don't have double-sided tape. And then there it is. There's our almost finished product. So now what we have to do is put the backing on these two. And I have this one here and this one here. So we're just gonna, oh, this was fun, and I just can imagine this for all types of quick gifts. Going to somebody's house for dinner, bottle of wine, and have this. You can maybe tie it onto the bottle. All kinds of stuff. Great for Christmas gifts. This would be even good as a I would think this would sell at a craft fair. And doesn't take much. Let's see. I did 4 12 by 12 sheets. 1 12 by 12 or a cereal box, but lightweight chipboard. So you can use the cereal box. So you know, there you've already paid for that product. I used 12 sheets in my 6x6 pad, so I've just about emptied that one out. So that makes me very happy. And you will need, if you don't have pieces and parts that'll fit in there, you will need 2 8.5 by 11 clear sheets because of the size. But if you don't make yours as large as mine, you'd probably be able to get all of the frame fronts, the clear plastic, out of one sheet. It just depends on what size you make your windows, your frames for your photos. Just lining this up so everything's covered. Get some burnishing going here. Now I've already made 2 of the all right. So there's our photos. Now I've already made 2 of these, and you can put an eyelet here and have little tassels. Since this is for a guy, I'm not going to do that. He, I don't think would really appreciate that. Now these are 4 3/4 by 6. Now you might have to, you know, change that around a little bit, but. And you can put some decorative paper on the back too if you'd like, but I'm not. But this is basically what I did, is I took my strips and I glued them just in stripes. You can do them any way you want. I just glued them horizontally, and I used this little piece from one of the centers of when we were cutting our frames out. And then you just take your scissors, take your straight edge, take your cutter, however you want to do it, and cut the excess off. But like I said, I've only made 2 of these, but I think you get the idea, and I do have a video on doing this. If I think about it, it's how to use your scraps up. and it gives you how I do this. So I'll attach that to the, if you want to watch that, in the description box. If I remember, I'll have to write myself a note. So, but that is one of the earlier videos, and I think I used a ruler and a straight edge, and I had so many people saying, why didn't you just use your scissors, or why didn't you? So I was like, oh well, I'm sorry. Okay, and then I'm going to put this one in here. And when you cut your tags, just keep in mind that once you put paper on it, it's going to be a little thicker. But isn't that cute? I love it. I love it. And then the third tag, let me show you how. Let me find my paper here. So all I did was I took my piece. That's got a damaged corner. I'm going to flip this over. I took my piece and I'm cutting it. You could do it frontwards or backwards. Let me get this in frame here. I'm cutting it so that it is about 1/8 of an inch away on all sides from the edge inside, and I'm just finding the top and giving myself a little mark there, so I know I can go ahead and cut it just above that line, so I know that I have enough to get a nice tag out of. Let me go ahead and get my side cut done. All right, so we're going to try it first if I need to cut it down more. And remember, this is just a little snug, and when I put my paper on here, it's going to require a little bit more room. So I took like 1/8 of an inch off. Just as long as it completely works inside. And rounding your corners on these would probably help it a good deal. I think I will. Oh, excuse me. I think I will round my corners on the bottom. I think that will. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch side and just do a nice little rounded corner. And let's see how much that helps. Oh, that's much nicer. That's much easier going in and out. So just play with them. See what you want. And then on here, I pushed it in as far as I could. And now I'm going to pull it out just a smidge. About 1/8 of an inch. A little bit more. But you don't want it to come up above your edge here. You want it still to be hidden. And then I want to make sure from the left to the right that it's even. And then I'm going to push down, and I'm going to take my pencil and make myself my cut line. And that is simply all I did for my tags. And then again, you can use your cutter, your scissors, however you want to cut this. If I've got a line to follow, I usually can do pretty well. And this is a medium, this is a cardstock that's got a little bit of a thickness to it. So, and then we're just going to slide that back in there, make sure everything works. And after I get all my strips on it. So there we go. And if you still want to take a little bit off the bottom if it's not going in far enough for you. So there is our little frame, and how cute was that? I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I'm just going to make my last tag, and I will take a picture and try and put that on so you can see the last tag. I'm just not going to have you sit on here and watch me glue paper down. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Give me some thumbs up if you like this little project. I don't do too many of these, but I just thought this would be a really neat project for a quick gift. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time,
Create your way and be happy.